What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Weekly Indie Newcomer, the series where you and I hang out for a little while to play a game that's been rattling around my hard drive over the course of the last week. In this week's episode, we're taking a look at 60 Seconds, which is sort of like a choose-your-own-adventure survival game made by Robot Gentleman Studios. You can get it for $9.99 on Steam right now if you wanted to check it out after the video. I'll have all the information down below in the description. So for right now, what is this game? Well, I already touched on it, but it's basically a choose-your-own-adventure game with some light activity at the beginning. And so the game is broken up into two phases. The first phase, you're running around your house trying to grab all the stuff that you need to survive for as long as possible. You have 60 seconds, which is where the game's name comes from. The second half is a choose-your-own-adventure where you sit there and you make decisions based on the way you're going to manage your supplies, and you try to last as long as possible until the military can come and rescue you. In choosing what game mode we're going to play here today, Atomic Drill is the tutorial mode. Scavenge and Survival mode have actually broken the game in half so that if you're bad, you can play the part of the game that you're not good at, whether it be scavenging or survivaling. And then Apocalypse mode is the full deal. That's going to be from front to back the type of game that you're going to want to be playing if you wanted to get the full experience. And so Apocalypse is what we're going to do. We're going to go with Fat Man mode for today's playthrough. Your average playthrough lasts about 25 minutes. I'd say the game has replayability. You'll probably get 7 or 8 plays through it before you start to get like bored with some of the events and things that are around. And I actually think that's one of the weaknesses of the game. But that's what we're going to talk about a little bit later near the end when we give our impressions of the game. And so anyways, Little Boy's demeaning, not going to do that. Fat Man's still kind of demeaning, but at the same time, at least it sounds girthy like it has meat. And so we'll begin our adventure there, shall we? Been playing a little bit. I think I've got about 4 hours in this game right now. I enjoy what it is. I think I put it on a pedestal a little bit too much. But anyways, here's the first phase for right now. This is where we got to run around our house grabbing stuff because Ted is an idiot who doesn't know how to stock his house properly or his little bomb shelter. So anyways, we need the radio. We need this over here. So we got 60 seconds. We'll rescue our family last. But let's grab the radio. We'll grab the map for right now. The radio and the map are pretty important. And then we'll grab, I guess we store bullets on the floor in this family, and so we'll grab that next. We'll take it to the shelter. We'll grab the wife for right now. Normally it has to be a Wednesday night for that to happen, but we're going to make exceptions due to the apocalypse. We'll get some soup, some water, and the wife. We'll grab little Timmy from over on this side. We'll get some water and some pesticides over here. I mean, it's not exactly what I want, but it's good for some of the events. We're going to go ahead and grab Mary Jane. She's a little bit heavier than the rest of the characters. She takes up 3 slots, but it'll be all right. And if we really move right here, I think we can get some of the good stuff. So let's grab some food out of here. We got 15 seconds left to grab whatever we can. I think we're good on food for right now, and so what I'd really like to see is some water. Got water right there. We got water right there. Nah, let's just grab the remainder of the food, I guess. And we have to be at the bomb shelter by the time runs out or we die. And so there it is. We are success. And so we jump down into the bomb shelter. The world ends. And we move into the meat and potatoes of the game, which is the choose your own adventure portion. Medkit for all injuries ranging from paper cuts to something rather, I don't know. It seems like the medkit's pretty important in the game, but for right now we're looking solid. This is a decent start out. It's not an amazing start out because we don't have the gas mask, but we do have a lot of food and water. We do have the map and we do have the radio, which are very important for actually winning the game rather than just like subsisting. And so you might be wondering why I didn't get the gun. I probably should have got a weapon, but we'll take our chances with the wasteland. Maybe we'll get some of that stuff later on. Let's start. All of us made it into the shelter just a second before the blast. It was a close one. As long as we're all together, we can make it work down here. We remember hearing canned soup is healthy for you. Our shelves are full of cans. We'll eat from cans. We'll sleep on cans. And eventually we'll even talk to cans. Some of us already do. Plenty of water means that we don't have to worry about that for quite some time. This is the best stocked shelter that we've ever seen. We've never seen another one. But anyways, we're pretty sure this is a good amount of supplies. Time to ration, and so I'm going to skip for right now. Nobody's going to eat on the first day. It's not easy to be calm in these circumstances, but hopefully we can keep our peace, or else. Our piece of what is the question? If it's a piece of each other's hair, a piece of each other's flesh, maybe we don't want to keep the peace. Honestly, I keep the peace just because of Mary Jane's dead-eyed stare, my god. Let's see, or else we might need to act like wolves, survival of the fittest and all. There isn't anything new bothering Mary Jane. Despite the dire circumstances and all the trouble we're going through, Timmy is being very brave. Everything seems okay with Dolores. There's nothing going on with Ted. And it's time to ration supplies. We're not going to eat until it prompts us to, so we'll be good for right now. Ted is vigorous enough to withstand the hazards of the wasteland, and so we have the option right now. Our neighborhood is still highly radioactive. Trips to the surface are a big risk to our health right now. Well, didn't I grab a med kit? I thought I got a med kit. Well, maybe I didn't grab the med kit. I grabbed a lot of stuff we do need. We might want to wait it out and go to the surface once the radioactivity goes away, and so I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and not go to the surface for right now. The radioactivity will diminish, but then again, the supplies will go away too. But since we don't have a gas mask, that's how you actually get rid of and disseminate all those poisons that are on the surface. So unless you want to go up and be like, and breathe in all the goodness, just bask in the disgusting array of bacteria and random radioactive goodies that'll get into your lung. We are lungs. We only have one lung in this family. It's a genetic thing. But anyways, you need a gas mask in order to go up to the surface. That's the point that I'm harping on right now. We thought that it'd be a great idea to have some role-playing fun and create our own shelter theater group. We called it the Thunderdome. We spent the rest of the day trying to write a script for our performance. We almost got into a fight over it and decided that maybe it would be best to play something simpler. Day 3. We played Truth or Dare. When it turned out we only kept asking questions and the most common was, are we going to eat anything besides tomato soup, we decided that's enough games for now. Can we spare some water? Mary Jane has been asking about it. Timmy needs water, Dolores needs water, and so does Ted. And so we'll go ahead and throw some water on everybody right there, and that should allow us to get a little bit further. It looks like the area is still irradiated. Going to the wasteland right now is unsafe unless you don't mind getting sick. Let's just wait it out. We've got the supplies to do it. We heard about supply drops or something else on the radio. This just might be what we need to survive, and it's supposed to happen near our house. Shall we go out and see if it's actually... Oh, we don't have the gas mask, so we can't do it. Well, we missed that event, so the supply drop got missed. It's a really, really good one, and it gives you like 4 water and 4 food. It allows you to survive pretty far into the future if you luck out on it, but unfortunately, we don't have the gas mask, so we can't participate in it. It was too dangerous to go out there without any protection, so we decided to stay indoors and listen to the radio. The static is so relaxing. Never go outside without protection. That's what my mom told me. Anyways, Mary Jane didn't cause any trouble. Okay, everybody's looking pretty good on the status check right here. It's time to ration supplies. Let's go ahead and just not do anything for right now. The contamination of our house is still pretty strong. Scavenging in the conditions could result in radioactive sickness. Well, let's avoid it then. Being down here is so much better than being pulverized out there, but that doesn't mean we don't want to go outside. Maybe we could take a walk soon. The neighborhood is probably much more peaceful since the bombings. Since the bomba dropped.
It blew up our house and it made an explosion. It totally sucked. Yeah, our house is all gone. All of our...
Okay. Still, it's better to be safe down here than dead up there. No trouble today. Everything's looking good with everybody. Everybody's fine and well, so we're looking solid. No rations for today. We're just going to go hungry. Contamination is still pretty strong. Scavenging could result in radiation sickness. Well, let's send out Ted. I don't think we can wait any longer. We need to start getting some goodies before the good stuff happens in the campaign. Like, you know, the raider attacks and nasty other stuff that's out there waiting for us. There's a whole lot of tire-related fashion occurring outside, and we got to make sure that we're ready for it. Mary Jane didn't utter a single word today. This is very odd. Maybe somebody should find out what's going on with her. Yeah, somebody talk with Mary Jane. She seems big enough to do damage if she gets, like, on a rampage right now. She's actually one of the best scavengers, given her robust physique. She actually, if you send her out, she tends to do the best. Alright, nothing solves problems better than an honest conversation over a hot beverage. We don't have the latter, but talking alone seems to do the trick. Everybody needs water for right now, and I haven't fed anybody yet, so I think I'll double up for right now. There's the food, and then Ted's gonna go outside. Enough sitting around, it's time to visit the surface and look for additional supplies. Maybe something survived the blast, maybe somebody is still alive. Let's find out, shall we? So Ted leaves the shelter on day 7 to go and try and find some goodies for us. Mary Jane seems fine. Everybody seems good for right now. We had food and water the previous day, so we'll let it go for right now. It's tough surviving in these conditions. Let's hope this will be over soon, or else... I like our little picture of soup right there. That's actually the Splattercat level of artistic... honestly, my artistic expertise is probably a lot worse than that one right there. I like the flies, too. Really kind of, like, denotes the fact that we're living in squalor right now. It's pleasing. Day number 8. It sounds like the radiation's getting a little bit better. That Geiger counter, oh, never mind, it got worse. At the beginning of the day, the Geiger counter, I thought that denotes how much radiation is around on that day. Everything's looking good. Everybody's being brave. We're going to go ahead and skip rations today just to survive. We can keep sitting on our backsides here in this tiny little bunker, or we can start thinking about getting away as far as possible from this radioactive wasteland. Who would have thought the Reds would ruin a lovely neighborhood? We could do it on our own, the escaping part, not the ruining part, of course. However, there might be somebody out there who can help us. Let's keep our eyes and ears open. That's good, because normally I just take things and shove them right on in there. Without further guidance, I think I would have messed up that instruction. Dolores seems so judgmental. She really does seem angry about something like all the time. Although, she seems like once you got through the hard exterior, I don't know, there'd be kind of like a warm, gooey center in there somewhere. Technically, we all have warm, gooey centers. It's part of being a biological organism, but still. We made contact! The military is out there, and they're coming for us. All we need to do now is wait patiently. The soldier with the boring voice was very specific about this. Help is on the way. We just need to wait for further instructions to keep our radio in working order. Mary Jane is very thirsty and has to drink something. Timmy doesn't need much, but he needs a drink. And so water is all that Dolores wants as well. Let's go ahead and we'll give out some water for right now. We'll also go with the soup distribution. That seems alright. We've been busy since we got to the shelter, but there is still much to be done, like trimming that shrubbery in the yard. That's definitely something we want to do when we get out of here. Nothing says apocalypse like gardening. Ted hasn't come back yet. That's a little bit worrying, but Ted seems to... I think the different characters stay out longer based on who they are, and so Ted seems to stay out the longest in my experience, but he also comes back with the most stuff. If he dies, that's probably bad. Our relocation is probably something we'll want to discuss after we get out of here. No trouble from anybody in our status check, so no food for today. Alarm! There's a group of people outside. They don't seem too friendly. We recognize some of them. They used to be in our neighborhood watch. They don't sound too concerned with the well-being of the neighborhood anymore, but they are very serious about angrily waving their heavy flashlights. We need to do something before they break in and take everything that we have. Let's shoot them with pesticides. Yeah. Eat poison, knaves. Knaves. You gotta add the extra syllable in there. Knaves. Bug killing spray may be primarily used for killing insects, but it seems to work pretty well as a bandit repellent. As long as you aim for their eyes, the reaction is quite instant. We're safe for now, but for how much longer? And is the spray gonna be enough to drive those lowlives away next time? It's always better when things are calm. Luckily, nothing new happened, so everybody's looking pretty good right there. Dane the Hiccup trying to ruin the episode as usual. If you don't know or you're new to the channel, I have a hiccup that shows up randomly while I'm trying to do an episode. It's one hiccup, and I always suppress it, and its name is Dane. It tries to ruin my career daily. So everything's fine right now. Do we still have the bug spray? I hope we do. Our ammunition is missing. There's no way it was stolen, so it has to be here somewhere. We don't have a flashlight. So unfortunately, the gods of RNG have just taken our ammunition from us randomly and arbitrarily. It was sitting on the shelf right there 8 seconds ago, but I don't know. Ted's still not back, huh? This is not good. It was too dark to find the tiny bullets without a flashlight. They aren't lost. Technically, they're still in the shelter. Technically. Getting something to drink. Okay, so everybody needs water for right now. Keep them locked in. We're not big fans of strange smelling shelters, but when we started to smell something burning, we quickly realized how much we prefer the nothing is on fire scent that it had before. A fire. We need to put it out and save our supplies. We don't have time to save them all, so what do we save? We take the radio, because that's the only thing that we have so far. Come on, Ted, get home. Yeah, Ted got home. The party's back up in here. Ted's kind of sick, though. That was close. We were able to put out the fire. Nothing seems to be damaged, at least not very badly. Let's hope that this doesn't happen again, or we might need to call the firemen. Are there even any firemen left? Ted has safely returned from his voyage to the surface. For all our daily bread and butter needs, we always went to a small store next to the barber's. They had the most amazing clerk who always asked us to come again. We found it intact. We got 4 food on the shelves. Okay. That's good, but it's also bad because what we needed was water. There was a restroom in the back. Inside, we found a dead body next to a first aid box. I guess it didn't help. We got a gas mask as well with a, let's see here, what did it say? A gas mask was hanging on the wall. There was a sign next to it that read, "Is it safe?" I guess not. So, nobody's worried. Everything's looking good right there. Ted needs food, and he also needs a med kit. And so it'll tell you a character is tired when they need food, and so we'll give that to him for right now. Let's keep everybody fed and strong because we have a food surplus right now. Unfortunately, food doesn't really seem to do much. Like, you've got soup, but it doesn't seem to help your hydration situation. Let's send out... I find that sending out Mary Jane is a pretty good plan. It also seems to me that people bring back random stuff that's focused in different areas. I don't know if that's just because, but it seems like Mary Jane always brings back food and water. So let's go ahead and get her prepped for a trip out to the surface. It's been a while. We don't know much about what's happening on the surface. If we only had a chance to tune into some emergency radio broadcasts and learn a thing or two, well, there it is. Let's learn a thing or two. I love things, to quote Trevor. Alright, he's feeling better. That is going to use up our med kit, though, so bear that in mind. We were able to get a weak signal and tap into the government's emergency announcement service, and guess what? Great news! The fallout outside was mostly gone. It should be much safer to travel on the surface now. There isn't anything new bothering Mary Jane. Everything's looking good over there. And so Ted should drink something soon, but he's recovered from his sickness. Let's give him some water. We'll send out Mary Jane for the day. See if she can find anything for us. I can't guarantee, like, sometimes they just don't come back. Like, every time you send somebody to scavenge, you're taking a pretty major risk, but hopefully it's not that bad. Mary Jane went outside. Let's hope she hurries. And everybody else wants water. Ted is hungry, so we'll give everybody that for right now, and then we'll give a little bit of water to everybody else. If Mary Jane doesn't come back with water on this one, we're pretty much hosed. The military is transmitting again. They said their first stop is to locate any remaining survivors. A plane will be doing a sweep over our neighborhood this evening, and we're supposed to be out in the open signaling to it with a flashlight. What if we don't have a flashlight? That seems like a stupid plan on the part of the military. Like a plan that relies on you having a thing. How about they just go to a location, we meet them there? You know, not trying to be overly logical here, but it's kind of a dumbass plan. Then again, it is the government, so what are you going to do? The signal has to wait. Besides, they even know how much flashlight batteries cost, especially in this economy, especially after it was wiped out. Everything's looking good. We're going to skip rations for the day. The trash can is becoming full of empty soup cans, and that unmentionable bucket is overflowing. Both of them are attracting strangely glowing, suspiciously big insect wildlife. Roaches weren't that big before the war, were they? Day 17. Well, we've made it almost 3 weeks. We're getting there. 2.5 weeks for right now. That was close. A nest of those glowing bugs might have been more than enough to drive us out into the wasteland. Roaches are the worst, but radioactive roaches? Yikes. Despite the dire circumstances and all the trouble we're going through, literally dire, we've got dire roaches running around. Timmy being very brave, Dolores fine and well. Ted should drink something. Okay, so let's give Ted some water. We felt that we should do something about our interior decoration. The feng shui is definitely off in the fallout shelter. That feng shui. While we were moving things around, we found a secret door. What's behind it? There's only one way to find out. You built a bomb shelter in your backyard and it has a secret door that you don't know about? Should you be concerned about that? Like, maybe call the contractor? Well, we can't call him anymore, but still. Some things are better left untouched and unknown. Whatever's behind the door, it's gonna stay there. We also stacked some furniture against it just to be sure. Hopefully nobody comes through. Timmy needs something to drink. Dolores needs something to drink, so we'll handle that today. We're almost out of fluids, and so this is not looking good for us. There are only so many things you can do in a tiny bunker. So we thought, hey, why not play some games? They're not just for kids, you know? Yikes, she still hasn't come back. That's bad. We decided not to act out the scenes, or we decided to act out the scenes from our favorite movies to amuse ourselves, at least for a moment. For some reason, every time we picked a new scene, we ended up with one of the ones from a Humphrey Bogart film. No news is good news. Dolores needs water. Ted's looking good. Keep it on point right there. It's really weird when you get the feeling that something is watching you. Our shelter is tiny, but this has been bugging us for a while now. We checked all the closets and nobody's hiding in there. Is there something alive down here besides us? Maybe a rodent of some kind? If so, we need to show it that we're the dominant species in this little paradise of ours. We don't even have we don't have any dice. We don't have a die at all, let alone a paradise. Day number 20. Let's see here. What do we got going on in our journo? As we were running around looking for something to... Oh, man. So we were trying to smash a rodent and it broke one of our food cans. The question is, how did the devil fit it through one of those little holes? So yeah, he stole one of our food cans. That's amazing. Not only can he debone himself, he can debone the can as well. Ted is hungry, so we'll give him some food. We got plenty of food right now, so whatever. You maniacs, you blew it up, but damn you all to hell. That's something you should have told our neighbors when they blew up their barbecue last spring. Those were good times, even if they wasted a perfectly good barbecue. What does a saxophone with Mary Jane playing it have to do with that? I feel like there's a little bit of non sequitur action going on right now. She came back and it looks like she got some water. Not much, but it's something. What we make of today will be our tomorrow, so let's make it right. Or left. Doesn't matter the direction. North, south. Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter from the surface. None of the burnt down buildings looked very inviting, but after some exploring and running away from mutated spider crabs or whatever the hell they were, we ended up finding a bar. For some reason it survived the blast and its neon sign was still working, except of course, for the letter A. Who would have known that tomato soup used to be such a popular snack in the bar? We got a few cans of it and took them with us. We didn't expect to find clean water in the bar, and we weren't wrong. Whatever we found wasn't pure and it wasn't water, but hey, if it quenches thirst, it counts. So there it is. Damn it, our gas mask was damaged, and so that was all that she brought back. That was a lot of time expenditure for that. Ooh. Alright, so let's go with food for everybody. We'll go with water for the people that weren't out and about. It seems like they've hit their rotation. Ted is too weak to go for expeditions. We can send Dolores, though, or we can send Timmy. Timmy seems like the kind of individual you can trust. Sure, let's send Timmy. I'm sure nothing will go wrong here. We tried to keep track of the dates, but they just don't add up. Luckily, Timmy remembered it's his birthday today. We should get him a present or a cake or both. So it's settled. We're making a soup cake, but what about the gift? We don't have anything, so unfortunately we can't gift him with anything. Day 22, 3 weeks in. Everybody's looking a little bit dirty right now. A little bit roughed up. Time to grow up, Timmy. This ain't Kansas anymore and Santa doesn't exist. Getting something to drink for Mary Jane sounds like the right idea. Timmy's being very brave, and there's nothing to report, so she needs something to drink. So let's get Mary Jane something to drink right now. There it is. Enough sitting around. Let's send Dolores out into the wasteland and hope for the best. The last time I sent her out, nothing good happened, but I don't know. I was going to send Timmy, but he seems fragile right now. He's been staring at that wall for like 23 days now, too, so I think his sanity might be faltering. Mary Jane is quite hungry. Timmy's good to go. Dolores is on her way to the surface, and nothing going on with Ted. So let's make sure she gets fed. Everybody else is going to have to do without for right now. The military's transmitting again. They said the first step and they need the flashlight, so they're sticking to this idiotic idea with the flashlight. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. The government. Really, really relying on flashlights for some reason. That seems to be their go-to idea. Maybe go to a location, have everybody go there, or B, comb the neighborhood with soldiers? Signal has to wait, so there it is. Until we get ourselves a flashlight, there's nothing we can do here. Who needed food? Timmy needs water. Ted rested, so let's give Timmy some water. We ran out of songs, short poems you remember from school, and funny silent movie quotes. We decided we're just a step away from going insane. We have to do something, or else we might start thinking about the virtues of welfare states. Imagine that. What do? Let's use some cards, I guess. We'll play solitaire with each other. Huh? I'm going along with the theme. They said we were quoting silent movies, and so now we're going to play solitaire with everybody. There are a few things as relaxing as cards, and we only have cards, so a game or two doesn't hurt. Mary Jane needs water, and Ted needs water. So we'll go ahead and give water to both of them. It's looking a little bit ugly right now. I don't know how we're going to last this thing. Playing a game or two might be a good way to relieve the mood and take our minds off the problems of today and tomorrow. And hey, playing games is good for you, so why not give it a try every now and again? Day 26. We almost made it 4 weeks. She's back. We thought playing the silent game would be a good idea. We used to play that in my family, too. See, common goals. The silence was too annoying and we quickly stopped. We were glad to see Dolores come back. The nearby docks housed some fancy-looking boats. One of them managed to survive the tidal wave caused by the atomic blast. Kinda, landed on our neighbor's house, but it looked like it was worth checking out. We found soup cans. Mary Jane didn't cause... That's all that we got was a soup can? Oh, Jesus. There's nothing going on with Ted. Nothing new anyway, so yeah, we're dead. Letting you know that that's a foregone conclusion. Let's just feed everybody and we'll get it over fast rather than slow. We'll send out Mary Jane tomorrow. Ted seems like he can go out too. God, we need a bath is what we need, but we don't have the water to go around. Let's send out... We played Truth or Dare. When it turned out we only kept asking questions, the most common was, are we going to eat anything besides tomato soup? We decided that's enough games for right now. We shouldn't leave Timmy without water. Alright, so the kids need water. And we'll send out Mary Jane, I guess. And we'll hope that she comes back in one piece. One adorable piece that's huggable or something, I don't know. She seems like she would have a huggable personality. Everybody seems kind of dour. This family doesn't seem very fun. Especially compared to my family. I don't know. These two need water, they're gonna die. And since the parent's surviving is really important, actually, let's just give everybody food, too. Losing is a foregone conclusion. Something's missing. Let's see. Fan hum, check. Strange noises going on in our pipes, check. Hellish yells outside, check. Oh, Dolores hasn't spoken for a while now. That's it. And it's really strange. Talking to her would be a good idea. Well, let's talkity talk. Let's get with the yakety yak, don't talk back. Bring in the dog and put out the cat and all that fun stuff. Yakety yak, don't talk back. I don't know too many people with outdoor cats anymore. Talking to Dolores helped resolve some of her issues and doubts. She feels better now. Things looking good right there. We're gonna have to skip a day on supplies because we don't have much of a choice, so there it is. You would expect a nuclear explosion would be enough to quench any petty arguments. When the future is not looking too pretty and all you see is naked walls, not much is necessary for an explosion, and it happened. We started fighting like crazy. Day 30, we made it 4 weeks. That's not too bad. Enough arguing. There are more important things to worry about. Timmy needs something to drink, and everything else is looking good. Sorry, Timmy. You're screwed. You're going to be the first to go. Shine your boots and hoist the flag. The army is on the radio again. They're telling us to get our flashlight. This plan. Try a new plan. Oh, my God. The boys in green are really bringing their A game today. Really bringing their A game. Please tell me you brought back something. The signal has to wait, so nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane coming back. Some additional supplies would help a great deal, but we didn't get any from the expedition. Oh, man, we're done. It's all over. Just keep feeding it. We could send somebody outside. We took some time examining the map and found it had some abnormal symbols scribbled in a few places. It appeared as if somebody had hidden something in an area and provided directions to it. Should we send somebody? Yeah, send somebody. We're about to die of thirst. Let's go. It's got to be done right now. We got a map, so it should go pretty quickly. We had fun following the map clues despite the grim post-apocalyptic surroundings. They brought us to an old tree with a hollow in its trunk which contained a set of checkers. Checkers, huh? Alright, well, this is pretty much it. Keep drinking soup. Apparently, soup doesn't help with hydration, so it is what it is. We'll send Timmy next time. He's in good health. Away with the Timmy! What happened with Timmy? Where'd he go? Lack of water drove Timmy insane. He opened the shelter door and ran away without looking back. He's not likely to return. Alright, so this is what we like to call a death spiral in technical terms. I'll see you on the other side. We can't scavenge, and so there it is. I think we should be dead right here. Yep, there went the wife unit. The wife unit has fallen over. She became too skeletal. Mary Jane needs something to drink. Nobody's got anything, unfortunately. What are we gonna do? The soup doesn't appear to help either. Sure. Send out nobody. The wasteland is full of surprises like this man on the other side of our door knocking and claiming that he's willing to offer a lot for decent ammunition. Can we trade? Let's give him a checker set since we don't have ammo because we lost it even though it was on the shelf the whole time and nobody stopped looking at it. When Mary Jade found out she's not getting any water, she got furious. She stormed out into the wasteland shouting over her shoulder that we'll regret this and that she's getting her water one way or another. We are seriously terrified right now. We offered checkers instead of ammunition. The visitor was confused and tried to explain what was going on. We pretended to not understand anything. It was amusing until he left with our checkers on board. Asshole. Our checkers board. Ted needs water and has gone crazy. He's got a sock puppet, so there it is. Yay, sock puppets. The telltale sign of us going crazy. And the end is nigh. So let's talk about what I do and don't like about the game, shall we? That was our first playthrough, and that's basically the way that all of them are going to go. I've yet to win the game, but I've played about 15 to 20 times. It doesn't seem to work out very well each time, so just bear that in mind if you're planning on playing the game. 60 Seconds is one of those games that was actually kind of weird for me to review because first and foremost, it's not a genre that I particularly enjoy, and so take that for I'm going to admit that straight up front. I'm not going to be one of those reviewers that's just like, I reviewed the game, I did it, you know, in an unbiased way. I don't really like choose your own adventure novels, and I actually thought this was going to be something a little bit different. But it's easy to see what the game is going for, even with like the flash of the nuclear bomb going off on the horizon, just kind of like mucking things up and blinding you. And so graphically, I do feel like the game is unique, and I do think the art style does a great job. It's on point, like sort of setting the playful tone to match the gameplay, and the music references, the humor, those all seem to make a really strong backdrop for the storytelling. The storytelling is good as well, but I think that's where I kind of like fell off the cart. I prefer for my games to have a little bit more game inside of them, and a lot of what 60 Seconds is trying to do is just clicking next when the game prompts you to, and just like seeing if you have the right item to get through the encounter, and then you read what happens randomly if you don't. Whereas that will be enough for some people to be really excited about the game. For me, the shtick didn't stick after 5 or 6 playthroughs, and I guess I found myself like trudging through like 5 to 10 more times just to make sure I had played the game enough to review it properly. And so, you know, take that for what it's worth. Realistically, I would have very much enjoyed seeing the scavenging minigames show up more frequently. And so I really like the pace at the beginning, that panic of trying to like run around and lovingly shove all of your loved ones and belongings into the hole before the bomb goes off. I really liked that portion of the game. And I feel like it would have complemented the docile parts of the game well if that minigame had come back. So let me give you an example here so that we're on the same page. You know, like when you send people out to scavenge, as we did, why not at that point play the scavenging minigame over again, only this time there would be hazards, there would be trials and traps and slip-ups, and hitting those would result in sickness, or your gas mask getting broken, or you getting wounded or dying. That doesn't exist, and instead what happens is you just get a randomized event. So you send somebody out and either a good thing happens or a bad thing happens, and you don't really know the reason why. And I think that on the storyline end, it works out well because the game gets to explain what happened while the person was out there. But from a player standpoint, I want to kind of like be in control of that. Make it as hard as you want, but it would have been nice to have an aspect of the game that I could control. So basically, I could drive the car if I couldn't build the road, you know what I mean? And so it would at least give you some aspect of control while you played the game, whereas right now I feel like a lot of it is just sort of like randomized. And so I feel like that would have benefited the game. Obviously, I think some people would have disagreed with me, but it would have made it sting more when the character died too along the way. So anyways, I don't know, I like to interact with my video games a little bit more, and I think for that reason 60 seconds just didn't grab me as it did with a lot of people. I've read other reviews and people seem to really like the game, and so I can say that it's a good choose-your-own-adventure novel. I mean, RNG is pretty heavy with the game. After the first 60 seconds, if you didn't grab the thing that you wanted, don't count on it ever showing up. I mean, that's what I'll say. So if that bothers you as a gamer, you'll probably want to steer away from this title, but I will say, in all fairness here, as someone that does not play graphic novels, but has played, I'm sorry, not graphic novels, but as somebody that doesn't play a whole lot of like video game, choose your own adventure type games, I've played a couple over my time here and I've reviewed a couple. But if you're looking for a thematic, like randomly generated choose your own adventure game, 60 Seconds is one of the better ones that I've played, so I'll leave it right there. If you wanted to check out 60 Seconds, you could definitely do that. It's $8.49 right now on discount on Steam. You could also get it for $9.99 in a couple of days once that runs out. It's by Robot Gentleman Studios. I hope that I didn't sound too negative on this one. It's a game that I enjoyed the first couple hours, but after that, it just kind of got stale for me. There weren't enough events to keep me coming back, and then the randomized nature sort of turned me off a little bit. I've never been a big fan of RNG. So anyway, 60 Seconds, check it out. I will see you all later. This is Weekly Indie Newcomer. Hi, do everybody, and I will see you in the next episode.